Okay, so if you're a parent today, you are smack in the middle of a world that, let's be honest, just didn't exist when we were growing up. Screens are absolutely everywhere, and trying to figure out the right way to handle it all with your child can feel, well, impossible. So let's dive in together and really look at what the science says our kids' brains actually need to thrive.
First up, let's talk about something I'm pretty sure a lot of you have felt, what we can call the modern parenting paradox. It's that feeling of being totally overwhelmed with information, but at the same time, feeling completely lost about what you're supposed to do.
I mean, does this quote just hit home or what? If you're nodding along, you're in good company. Psychiatrist Dr. Victoria Dunkley calls this the paralysis of analysis, and it's just the perfect way to describe it, isn't it? You know, you read one article, then you hear the exact opposite advice. You feel that little pang of guilt every time you hand over a screen, and you just end up feeling stuck, like you're going in circles.
And all of that brings us to the single most important question in this whole conversation. Seriously, in a world that is just soaked in screens, what is the one thing our kids truly need to thrive? To get to that answer, we've got to look past the technology, strip away all the noise, and get right back to basics.
So, what is that one thing? Well, science has a great name for it. They call it the brain's magic sauce. And spoiler alert, it has absolutely nothing to do with an app or a YouTube channel. It's the simple, incredibly powerful force of human connection.
You know, researchers at Harvard have a fantastic term for this: early relational health. Just think of it like the emotional immune system a child builds from day one. It's not about these huge, grand gestures. It's the quiet well-being that grows from thousands upon thousands of tiny, positive, back-and-forth moments with the people who love them. And listen, this isn't just about warm, fuzzy feelings. This is about the actual architecture of the brain. Psychologist Kathy Hirschpiesek says our kids have a social brain because it's literally built through conversation and interaction. That serve and return, that back and forth, it isn't just teaching words. It's physically building the neural pathways for language, for memory, for everything.
This connection thing goes so deep, it's actually biological. It's a process called biobehavioral synchrony. Just picture this. A baby starts crying. A parent's heart rate shoots up. But then, as the parent soothes the baby, holding them, talking softly, both of their heart rates and even their stress hormones start to come back down, together. Their bodies are literally syncing up in real time. That is the biological bedrock of a social bond. And guess what? This isn't some accident. It's by design. As you can see here, the parental brain is hardwired for this stuff. When we have those caring moments, hormones like oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine, the so-called happy hormones, get released. It makes us feel good, reinforcing those feelings of love and satisfaction. It's this beautiful, powerful biological loop designed to keep us connected.
Okay, so if our brains are so perfectly designed for human connection, where in the world do screens fit in? And that brings us to the great digital disruption. We're going to get into the science of why a toddler's brain just doesn't process information from a screen in the same way it does from the real world.
Researchers actually have a name for this whole phenomenon. It's called the video deficit, and it's a really well-documented finding. Time and time again, studies show that very young children consistently learn way better from a live person showing them something than from watching that exact same thing happen on a screen.
And this isn't just some vague theory. It is measurable. A massive analysis of dozens of studies calculated the exact impact of this video deficit for kids under 3. The number they landed on was negative 0.63. Now, that might not sound like a huge number, but trust me, in the world of research, that is a substantial, statistically significant learning gap. It's a big deal.
So the big question is why? Why does this deficit even exist? Well, this table breaks it down perfectly. The brain is expecting real, three-dimensional interaction, but a screen only gives a flat, 2D picture. The brain is built to read rich social cues, a smile, a nod, but a screen gives very limited feedback. A brain wants a multi-sensory experience, touch, smell, taste, but a screen is mostly just sight and sound.
And what is absolutely fascinating is that even a baby's brain knows the difference. Research has shown that infants as young as 9 months old will physically reach for a real, 3D toy completely differently than they'll reach for a 2D picture of that same toy. The shape of their hand, the angle of their arm, it all changes. Their brain already gets that one is a real object you can grab, and the other is just a flat image.
And this brings up a really crucial distinction, one that Dr. Dunkley's research points out. The main concern isn't just any screen time. Watching a calm TV show together has a very different effect on the brain than, say, fast-paced interactive games and apps. That kind of interactive use can kick the brain into a state of hyperarousal, which for a little kid can be super overstimulating and really dysregulating.
Okay, so we get it. The brain needs connection, and sometimes screens can get in the way of that. The big question is, what do we do about it? Let's shift gears and talk about some practical, evidence-based strategies we can all use to navigate this new normal.
Honestly, the best place to start is with the official guidelines from the American Academy of Pediatrics. They keep it really clear and simple. For babies under 18 months old, no screens, period. The only exception is video chats with family. From 18 to 24 months, the key is introducing high-quality shows and doing it together. Then, from ages 2 to 5, the limit is just 1 hour a day. And for kids of all ages, the #1 priority should always be unplugged, traditional play.
So the AAP keeps mentioning high-quality programming, right? But what does that even mean? Well, experts say you should look for these 4 pillars. Is it engaging their mind, not just their eyeballs? Is it active, maybe asking them to dance or answer a question? Is it meaningful to their life? And, probably most importantly, is it social? Can it actually spark a conversation between you and them?
And that right there brings us to what might just be the single most powerful strategy we have, co-viewing. Watching with them. It's all about shifting our mindset. The goal is to use whatever is on that screen as a bridge that leads right back to human connection. Use it as a conversation starter, not a conversation stopper.
All right, let's bring this all together and land the plane here. At the end of the day, this whole thing isn't really about demonizing technology. It's about recentering on what we know deep down is the most important thing for a developing brain. It's all about building that relational health. I just love this quote from the team at Harvard. It's such a powerful reminder to shift our focus away from fear and guilt and back to what we can control. The antidote to too much screen time isn't just less screen time. It's more connection time. It's about finally recognizing the incredible brain-building power of those simple, ordinary moments, reading a book, building with blocks, just having a silly conversation.
So the ultimate goal isn't really to have a house with 0 screens. For most of us, that's just not realistic. It's to create a home where screens are used thoughtfully, where they're a tool and sometimes even a bridge that leads back to shared experiences, to great conversations, and to a deeper connection. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. We spend so much time and energy worrying about the rules, asking ourselves, how much is too much screen time? But what if we've been asking the wrong question all along? What if the most important question we could ask ourselves at the end of each day is simply this: are we having enough connection time? That simple shift, well, that might just change everything.